Namaste to all the viewers on this national webinar series on Yoga Ramayana Vishwakosha history, proving authenticity and history of Ramayana. We have Professor K. Subramaniam ji starting a series on Ramam Dharmabhiramam, which will continue for 7 days. Today we will hear about Lord Rama, who lived his whole life by the rules of Dharma, showing the world that Dharma is the most important thing in life, and truth is established because of it. Welcome to our webinar series.
वंदे शंभुमापतिं सुरगुरुं वंदे जगत्कारणं वंदे पन्नगभूषणं शशिधरं वंदे पशूनां पतिं वंदे सूर्य शशाङ्कवह्निनयनं वंदे मुकुन्दप्रियं वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदम् वंदे भक्तजन आश्रयं च वरदं वंदे शिवं शंकरं श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयं सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वय रत्नदीपं आजानुबाहु अरविन्ददलायताक्षं रामौ निशाचर विनाशकरौ नमामि. Friends, Sri Ramam Dharmabhiramam. Rama is handsome. He is more handsome on account of his truthfulness. He is most handsome on account of his dharma paripalana. He is not only truthful, he is not only a man of righteousness, but a person of positivism. There is nothing negative in him. His approach to life is positive. He always sees the positive dimension of life, positive aspect of life, and therefore he is the most handsome. Everybody is fond of Ramachandra Prabhu because of his positive nature. In the Ramayana, we find a particular incident. Dasharatha Maharaj sent the message that Rama would be the crown prince on a particular day. Yuvaraja Pattabhishekam is going to be performed. The message has been sent to Sri Ram, and within 24 hours the message is reversed. On the first day it is appointment. On the very next day it is disappointment. When the order of appointment came, Sri Rama was quiet, calm, tranquil, serene, steady. Absolutely no reaction. He was not elated. He did not jump with happiness. He did not give any gifts to anybody, whether it is Sita or his brothers or the public. He just received the message of appointment with equanimity, with poise, with a balanced state of mind. He was sober, he was serene, he was sublime, he was steady. A normal man or an ordinary person would be jumping in ecstasy, would be very, very happy. He would arrange a tea party. He would get excited. He would jump with pleasure. But Sri Ramachandra Prabhu was quite balanced. He did not jump up. Within 24 hours, the order was reversed. He was asked to go to the forest. He was not to stay in Ayodhya. He was not to stay with the parents in the palace. He must immediately quit the palace. The previous day, he was given the order that he would ascend to the throne of Ayodhya. He would be adorned with the crown of the great Raja. The very next day, he was asked to get out. He was exiled. Imagine ourselves in the position of Sri Ram. On the first day, you get the appointment order. The very next day, the order is to be cancelled. Not only is the appointment cancelled, but you are punished, banished, exiled, dismissed. What would be the fate of an ordinary person? When the happiness comes, when the appointment order comes, we get elated. We jump up with pleasure. When we get an adverse message, when we are asked to go to the forest, we fall down. We get depressed. Sometimes we may even rush to commit suicide. The two extremes, from the heights of glory to the depths of degradation. On the first day appointment and the very next day disappointment. On the first day there is hope and the second day there is despair. When the mind moves from one extreme to the other extreme, it gets upset. Sri Rama is a yogi. He is least worried, least perturbed. He is poised, balanced, calm, quiet, tranquil, serene. He is quite normal or calm. But his brother, Lakshmana Swami, is very much perturbed. He draws his sword, goes to his elder brother and shouts, "Who is that person that has deprived you of the kingdom? How can anybody take off the crown from your head? How can anybody exile you? You have every right to be the king of Ayodhya. You are the firstborn, you are the eldest son. You are the legal heir to the kingdom of Ayodhya. How can anybody take away that right from you? I shall kill that person, whoever is responsible for throwing you out of Ayodhya." Rama, with a calm face, with a tranquil face, looks at Lakshmana. When there was appointment, he was like a lotus smiling on a painted canvas sheet. When Rama was asked to go to the forest, then also he was like a painted lotus on a canvas sheet. Absolutely no change in the face of Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. But in Lakshmana there is a change. He shouts. He is infuriated. He is very much annoyed. He is angry with the person who is responsible for the change of events, for sending Ramachandra Prabhu to the forest. Now A balanced person like Ramachandra Prabhu alone can see the positive side. He looks at Lakshman. He tells Lakshman, my dear brother, why are you anxiety ridden? Why are you tensed? Why are you stressed about? What has happened now? What else should happen, brother? Yesterday you were asked to get ready for the throne and crown, and today you are asked to get out from the palace. What else should happen? I shall kill that person, whoever is responsible for the change of circumstances. Rama says, my dear younger brother, it is your father. So what? Even if it is my father, I don't care. I shall behead him for the great crime he had committed in depriving you of the kingdom. My brother, it is your own mother. So what? Even if it is my mother, I am not going to care. I shall remove her on your way to the throne. My brother, it is a fate. It is destiny. It is prarabdha. It is written on our forehead that we should see the difference. The previous day I was asked to be ready. True. Today I am asked to be ready to go to the forest. True. It is the play of fate. It is the drama of destiny. All this has happened because of our prarabdha, our karma. It happens and we have to accept it. There is no alternative. Then Lakshmana says, what if fate is cruel? I shall behead that fate. I shall remove that fate. I shall teach destiny a lesson. Let not destiny or fate play with us heroes. We can conquer fate. We can defy fate. We can teach a lesson to destiny. If fate is great, faith is greater. If destiny is great, divinity is greater. We are capable of changing the destiny. Sri Ram receives the words of Lakshmana with sobriety and tells, true, my dear Lakshman, you are 100% true. Great Nachiketa was able to see Yamadharmaraja with equanimity of mind. The young girl Savitri was able to defy fate, was able to stand against destiny. When she wanted to marry Satyavan, the young hero, the great astrologer Narada Maharshi told that the husband would die within a year after marriage. The horoscopes of Savitri and Satyavan do not match. Satyavan is destined to meet a premature death. And what is the heroic tendency of Savitri? She is so determined. She is of such strong willpower. She has defied destiny. She has been able to overcome fate. Her faith in herself was so steadfast that she would conquer. And we know the story, fate is defied. In the case of Markandeya, still better, a boy of 16 years, he was able to defy fate. When Shiva is in me, what can Yama do to me? Said Markandeya. When there is faith in myself, what can fate do to me? A person of self-confidence cannot be shaken by any evil force, by even fate or destiny. And that is Markandeya, a person of steadfast self-confidence. great faith in himself. And we know the story. Yamadharmaraja came. He could not conquer. He was defeated at the hands of Shiva. Shiva came to the protection of Markandeya. It is faith that has come to the rescue of Markandeya. It is the devotion of Markandeya that came to his rescue. There are many stories in this country wherein fate was defied, destiny was defeated, self-confidence has won, willpower has been successful, faith has been victorious. But, my dear Lakshman, is it necessary that we should fight against the fate? Now there are two things. One is the kingdom, the palace, Ayodhya. You are the king to rule. This is the first side. The other is the forest, exile, and you are in the woods. Between the palace on one side and the woods on the other side, which is better according to you? The palace is better. That means you have a preference for the palace life. You like to be the king of Ayodhya. You do not like to be a person of the forests. That means we have preferences. We have prejudices. We want some. We do not want some. We like one side of life. We do not like the other side of life. A sthita prajna is one who is capable of maintaining the equanimity in both the conditions. Whether I am recognized or not, whether I am insulted or not, whether I am appreciated or not, tulya ninda stuti mauni. A person must be in a position to keep that serene silence, sublime silence, balanced poise under all the circumstances, the pairs of opposites, the polarities. Appointment and disappointment must be shown the same respect. Gold or mud, gold or sand must look alike. There is nothing to be preferred. There is nothing to be hated. There is nothing to draw our attention. There is nothing to dispel our attraction. We must be in a position to maintain that balanced state. My dear Lakshman, when you say you want to be here, you fight for your rights to be the king, that means you hate the forest life. You are unable to see the advantages elsewhere. There are people who are of 4 or 5 categories. First category of people, fools miss the opportunities. Here is an opportunity to go to the forest, to be useful to the rishis, to protect the mild animals, to maintain that peace of life in the forest. We are equally useful to the habitats, to the inhabitants of the forest. That you are forgetting. We are not only the people to protect the citizens in the city, we are the people to protect the rishis in the forest, for woods. Here is an opportunity given to us. First variety of people miss the opportunities, fools. Second variety of people, mediocre people, wait for the opportunities like a man going to the seashore, waiting for the waves to cease or stop to take bath. Waves will never stop and you will never take bath. The second category of people are simple people to wait for the opportunities. Third, intelligent people make the opportunities. They create a situation wherein the advantages are available. The advantages are created. Third variety. And the fourth variety, great wise people, they find opportunities everywhere. Palace life is an opportune life. Forest life is also an opportune life. If it is beneficial for you to live in the palace, it is equally beneficial for you to live in the forest. Both are good. Wise men, wise people find opportunities everywhere. There is yet another category, and they are all the yogis. They are capable of finding advantages in disadvantages. Lakshmana, you think that the forest life is a disadvantageous life. No. It is also full of advantages. Why don't you turn your mind to the positive side? Fools miss the opportunities. Mediocre people wait for the opportunities. Intelligent people make the opportunities. Wise people find the opportunities. And the extraordinary people of yogic nature are capable of seeing advantages and opportunities in disadvantages as well. We should not miss the opportunity. By the grace of God, an opening is made, an invitation is offered. The forest life is at our disposal. Let us explore. Let us see the advantages. Let us be useful. Let us be beneficial to the people who are in the forest. This is the quality. First and foremost, we have to maintain that equanimity under all circumstances. When the pairs of opposites are before us, and then from there we should rise to see the advantages and disadvantages. Let there be no preferences or prejudices. Let us develop that equanimity of outlook. Lakshmana is then mellowed. Rama's influence on Lakshmana is enormous. The wisdom of Ramchandra Prabhu is blended with positivism, is blended with righteousness, is blended with truthfulness, and therefore Sri Rama is extraordinarily handsome. In the Bhagavad Gita we find Yatra Yogishwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Sri Vijayor Bhuti Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. Where the Yogishwara Sri Krishna and the person of self-effort Arjun are present, there you find everything splendid. Similarly, where you find Sri Rama's positivism, Sri Rama's truthfulness, Sri Rama's righteousness, Sri Rama's strength, Sri Rama's valor, Sri Rama's conviction, Sri Rama's courage, there you find everything peaceful, everything to be positive, everything to be prosperous. May we all, by the grace of God Almighty, take to the path of Sri Ramachandra Prabhu. Let us drop all preferences and prejudices. Let us submit to the cosmic will. Let us accept everything that comes on our way, and let us try to make the best of everything that comes to our way. And therefore, Sri Rama's influence is enormous. Ramam Dharmabhiramam, Ramam Nayanabhiramam, Ramam Satyabhiramam, Ramam Sitabhiramam, Ramam Dharmabhiramam. మంగళం కోసలేంద్రాయ మహనీయ గుణాత్మనే చక్రవర్తి తనూజాయ సార్వభౌమాయ మంగళం మంగళం మంగళం.